I don't have this esoteric side of yoga. I mean, I'm more a grounded person, and it's funny because I'm quite organized at home and in my life, but in my office, it's always a mess. I'm like, okay, I need to organize this, I need to organize that, but in the end, I think there's something comfortable I like in this bordel. This whole wall, I would say, is a personal wall with picture of my kids, my parents, cards from my friend, and an amazing art gallery from my kids. Here, I more have some, I would say, mood boards, like things I need to think about, have under my eyes constantly. It's always an evolution. I place everything that is me inside this project. It's a mix of a lot of contrast, and I believe it defines a bit of my personality as well. The start was in 2015. The first pieces arrived in store in September. I was not alone. I already had a team with people that are still with me today. But since 5 years, I'm a very lucky person because the father of my kids quit his job and started to work with me. With my jewellery, I don't think about a person, a specific character. I think a lot about how it's going to sit on the body and exactly at the same moment how it's going to sit on the table. I want to do some things that in 10 years I will still be happy about. There are some things that I never remove, like this necklace with the initial of my kids and me and my boyfriend. I have my moments. I can be obsessed with one piece and then switch to another one. I always had this interest in objects, so I would say objects that go into design. I would go to the flea market with my mother on the weekend as a child. My grandparents were farmers, my other grandparents were vets, so I'm very close to nature and I grew up with them. Still, whenever I have spare time, I will always escape into the wildest place possible. I make sure that his collection is here, I hope for the longest time possible. And sometimes people, they're not always aware of how to care. How do you take care of things? Is it possible? So it's also a lot about education that I believe it's also a role of the brands. It's more a question about protecting and respecting nature in general. There's beauty everywhere in Paris. I love this river in the middle that I cross every day twice, 3 times a day sometimes. I know it sounds super cliche and silly, but whatever the weather, whatever the time of the year, and every time I cross it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lucky to be here.